Good morning, muscles! It's Mr. Fallon, and today is Monday. So excited for you to join me this morning on Good Morning Muscles. Good Morning Muscles is your daily Kickstarter for what's going to be an amazing day. Boys and girls, we have so much fun planned for you. So what do you say? Let's do it! Alright, for our warm-up today, we are going to do a tennis husky-size warm-up. Alright, so for today, we're going to pretend like we're playing some tennis. Alright, let's start off with a serve. Toss it and serve. Toss it and serve. Toss it and serve. And here we go. Keep it up. Nice high jump, serve it hard. Tossing and serving. Serve it over to the other side of the net. Very nice. Serve it. Serve it. Jump really high. Serve it really hard. Really good. You're trying to hit it past your opponent on the other side. Keep it up. Let's try the other hand. Toss it and serve. Toss it and serve. Toss it really nice. Serve it really hard. Keep it up. Let's do it 3 more times. 1 more time. And a nice hard serve. Alright, the ball's coming over to you. Face this way and forehand. And run over here and forehand. And back up and forehand. And over here, forehand there. And over here. And run forward. Very nice. Nice hit. Get it over the net. Hit it hard. Hit it past your opponent. Really nice hit. We're doing a forehand hit. Very good. Get it over there. Get it past your opponent. Run all the way up here. Very nice. Oh, here's one back over here. Nice forehand. Very good. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. Let's do the last one. Hit it past your opponent. Oh, it's coming over to face the other way. Now it's coming over. Let's try a backhand hit. And over here for a backhand hit. And back over here, a backhand hit. So we're still hitting it with the same hand that we just were. This is a backhand in tennis. Very nice. Keep hitting it. Get it over the net. Try to get it past your opponent. Nice backhand. Very good. Over here. Oh, all the way back over here. Over to this side. All the way up front. Back. Oh, here it comes now. Let's get ready to smash it. Smash it. Get over here and smash it. And come over here and smash it. And back over here. And smash it down hard. And smash it down hard. And up here and smash it hard. And let's smash it hard. Very nice. Good hard overhead smashes. Trying to get it past our opponent. Get it inside the boundary. Good hard smashing. Very nice. Very nice. Keep on smashing. All your opponents are going to try to get it back. And let's lunge for one. Oh. And let's lunge for one with the backhand. And lunge for one with the forehand. And for the backhand. Oh. And for the forehand. And the backhand. And the forehand. And the backhand. And the forehand. And the backhand. Oh, very good. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, let's switch to the other hand. And the forehand. And the backhand's now over here. And the forehand. And the backhand over here. And the forehand over here. And the backhand. And the referee's going to call it in. It's good. In. It's good. In. It's good. In. It's good. Awesome warm-up, muscles. Keep it up. now time for Spot Run Story Time. We're reading Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. If you weren't around over the weekend, we did chapters 11 and 12 over the weekend. Go back, watch those spot run through them. It was so hilarious. You really need to hear those stories. Chapter 13 is called The New Teacher. The new teacher entered the classroom carrying a big blue notebook stuffed with papers. She had white hair and wore glasses. She was a lot older than anyone else in the class. She took a deep breath. Oh, my, it's tiring walking up all those stairs, isn't it? Nobody said anything. They just stared at her. She set her notebook on the teacher's desk. My name is Mrs. Drazel, she said, and I'm not from Brazil. She smiled at her little joke. Nobody else smiled. After Mrs. and Mr. Gorf, they didn't trust teachers. Drazel, thought Dee Dee. Where have I heard that name before? Where are you from? Asked Leslie. Actually, I was born not too far from here, said Mrs. Drazel. Then why'd you say you came from Brazil? Asked Benjamin. No, I said I wasn't from Brazil, said Mrs. Drazel. Have you ever been to Brazil? said Eric. No, explained Mrs. Drazel. It was just a little joke. Brazil rhymes with Brazil. I thought it might help you remember my name. Terrence laughed. Brazil, Brazil, he shouted. That's funny! Several other kids laughed too, but not Dee Dee. She had heard of Mrs. Drazel somewhere. She was sure of it, and whatever she heard, she was sure it wasn't good. What's a Brazil? Asked Eric Ovens. Brazil is the largest country in South America, said Mrs. Drazel. Oh, said Eric Ovens, I thought it was one of those things that, Several kids laughed. There was no more laughter when Stephen was shocked. I know I heard her, said Jason, but Dee Dee just didn't trust her, even if she did say it right out loud. There was a television show that Dee Dee liked to watch. It was about real criminals. At the end of the show, they always asked the viewers to call the police if they knew where any of the criminals were. Dee Dee wondered if she had seen Mrs. Drazel on that show. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask me? Asked Mrs. Drazel. Ron raised his hand. Mrs. Drazel pointed to him. How old are you? Asked Ron. Dana gasped. You're not supposed to ask someone that, she said. Especially someone as old as Mrs. Drazel, said Mac. Mrs. Drazel smiled. I don't mind, she said. I'm 66 years old. You can ask me anything that you want. Anything? Asked Joy. I'm a teacher, said Mrs. Drazel. That's what I'm here for. Paul raised his hand. How much do you weigh? He asked. 124 pounds, said Mrs. Drazel. How much money do you make? Asked Eric Bacon. I'm a substitute teacher, explained Mrs. Drazel, so I only make money on days that I teach. Then I make $51.18 a day. What a ripoff, said Jenny. You should make at least 200. That would be nice, said Mrs. Drazel, but I'm a teacher because I love to teach. I love to see young children learn. Joy raised his hand. How many men have you kissed in your whole life? Mrs. Drazel thought a moment as she appeared to be counting at her fingers. 31, she said. Everyone gasped. Dee Dee raised her hand. Mrs. Drazel smiled at her. Yes, the girl in the pretty flowered t-shirt. Have you ever been in jail? Asked Dee Dee. No, said Mrs. Drazel. Are the police after you? No, said Mrs. Drazel. Dee Dee still didn't trust her. Okay, said Mrs. Drazel. Before we get started, I want to say one more thing. I enjoy teaching so much that sometimes I get a little carried away. I talk too much. So if I get boring, will somebody please raise your hand and tell me? For real, asked Todd? You want us to tell you to stop talking and we won't get in trouble, asked Bibi. No, of course not, said Mrs. Drizzle. You'll be helping me and the rest of your class. You're not going to learn anything if you're bored. Cool, said Terrence. Oh, I suppose when I first started teaching, I used to be a little more strict, said Mrs. Drizzle. I was even worried about things like whether my students had clean fingernails or if their shirts were tucked in, she laughed. But times have changed. I've changed. Besides, the kids were a lot worse back then. At least some of them were. For just a second, her sweet face turned sour as she looked at her notebook on her desk. Then she smiled again. I believe teaching requires mutual cooperation. I will cooperate with you, and you need to cooperate with me. If we work together, we will have a very enjoyable learning experience. Her face turned sour again. But if you cross me, you will be very, very sorry. She ran her fingers over her blue notebook. Oh, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday I will get you. You can run, but you can't hide. She smiled. Okay, let's get started. Wow, I can't wait to find out what Mrs. Drizzle has for this class. It's going to be hilarious. Our steps for today are: tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to learn about a light bulb, a pencil sharpener, a coffee pot, and a stack of potatoes? I can't wait to find out what that's all about. All right, so why did the teddy bear skip dessert? Why did the teddy bear skip dessert? Because he was stuffed. Yes, I love that joke. So good. Boys and girls, guess what time it is? It's game time, yeah! Alright, for game time this week we are working on some volleyball skills. And today, we're going to use our tape ball. Remember to make your tape ball. Take 2 pieces of paper, crumple it up in a ball, wrap a couple pieces of tape around it, make your tape ball, and it's going to help us get better at volleyball today. Today, we're going to learn our first volleyball skill. Our first volleyball skill is the underhand serve. We talked about serving when we did our tennis husky size warm-up at the beginning. We worked on serving and tennis. Today we're going to work on tennis or serving and volleyball. All right. To serve in volleyball, you're going to take your ball and hold the side of the ball like, oh, hey-oh, slipped out my hand. Butterfingers, Mr. Fallon. Hold the side of your ball like this. This is important because when you serve the ball, you want to hit the bottom. If my hand's on the bottom when I go to serve it, I'm going to just hit my hand. If I hold the side, when I go to serve it, I can hit the bottom of the ball. All right, so once I have the side of the ball held, I'm going to hold the ball with my arm nice and straight. When my arm's nice and straight, I can keep this arm nice and straight, and I'll automatically hit the ball. Next, I want to hold it so it's at my waist. When I serve it with the ball at my waist, it'll go the proper way. If I hold it too high when I serve it, what's going to happen? It's going to go backwards, and the other team's going to get a point. And you're going to be like, oh. So you want to hold it at your waist. If you hold it too low, it's going to go too low. It's going to roll under the net. You don't want that to happen. So again, I'm going to hold the side of the ball. I'm going to hold it at my waist with my arm nice and straight. Now I'm going to take my hand, and when I serve it, I want to try to serve it with the heel of my hand, this part right here, right where your hand meets your wrist. It's nice and hard, so I can make a knuckle when I serve it, But when I serve it, I don't want to serve it with my knuckles. I want to serve it with this hard part right here. So I'm going to make my knuckle, getting ready to serve it with the heel of my hand. Now the last thing I need to do is take a step and serve. So Mr. Fallon's going to try to serve it at the wall. Hold the side of the ball at my waist, my arms nice and straight. Make my knuckle, step, and serve. Oh, and I caught it. Let's try that again. Hold the ball by the side, at my waist, my arms straight. Make my knuckle. And what do I need to do with my foot? Step and serve. And, oh, Mr. Fallon had butterfingers again. Man, Mr. Fallon needs to wash his hands and get all the butter off them. Everything keeps slipping out of my hands. All right, let's try again. Side of the ball, at my waist, step, and serve. All right, now Mr. Fallon's going to try to challenge himself. I'm going to try to serve it a little bit further back. I'm going to try to hit it right at the top of the wall. Here we go, side of the ball, at my waist, my arms straight, step, and serve. Oh, very nice. Boys and girls, that's the underhand serve. It's so cool. Boys and girls, you can practice inside with your tape ball. Keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. Or you can go outside and you could possibly practice with a different type of ball. Or you can go outside and practice with your tape ball. Now Mr. Fallon's going to try one more challenge. Mr. Fallon's going to get his shoebox. Oh, Mr. Fallon has the kite in his shoebox. You can win this kite if you do Mr. Fallon's bouncing and catching challenge. You could win a kite. You could win a kite. Just try with all your might. And hey, you could win a kite. So if you haven't done that, get on it. That's going to be a cool challenge. So Mr. Fallon's going to try a real tough challenge now. There's my shoebox. I'm going to see if I can serve it in my shoebox. Ooh, let me see if I can get it where the camera can see it. Because this is going to be cool. Mr. Fallon's going to make it, I can tell. All right, hold the side of the ball at my waist. Step and serve. Oh, I missed. Let me try again. I can do this. Side of the ball at my waist. Arms straight. Step and serve. So close. Mr. Fallon's going to keep practicing. I'm going to be able to do that soon. You practice that and get so strong.
$15, $16, $17.
Boys and girls, that's it for Good Morning Muscles today. I had so much fun. I hope you had fun too. We got a lot stronger. We had a lot of fun. Few jokes along the way. Boys and girls, keep practicing these things. And I forgot to say, if you really like the volleyball game, look back on it's Mr. Fallon's YouTube page. There was a serving video, a volleyball serving video I did with Coach Cherno, and we worked on serving a real volleyball. If you want to see that and you have a real volleyball or a ball like a real volleyball at home, you can practice with that too. Help you get even stronger. Boys and girls, thanks for joining me with Good Morning Muscles. I can't wait to see you again. Today's going to be an awesome day. And hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Muscles!